Hi, this is KB2MXV, and I just got my phone yesterday and I got the sidecar this morning, and I'm throwing together a little video just to help out some of the new people like myself on how to program your first 5 buttons on the phone. Well, not your first, the first one gets done for you, and the sidecar. And I made a little Excel utility that I want to share with you guys, and if it helps anybody out, that would be great. So this is where we're going to start with my phone. This is what it looks like. So one of the first things you want to do once your phone is connected to the internet is get your IP address, because you're going to need to know that IP address to access your phone via the web browser. So once your phone's online, you can just hit the menu button, which is this here. And what you want to do is you want to scroll down all the way to, let's see, I believe it's status, network status. And here you can see, for me, my IP address is 192.168.1.25. And that's what we're going to put into the browser to access my phone. Okay, so on the left, I've accessed my phone. And let me just back out of this a little bit, just so I could kind of show you what it's doing here. And the first thing you want to do is, once you log in, you want to go to admin logon and you want to click on advanced. Okay, so you want to make sure you're on advanced. Now, when you do set up your first 5 lines, you're going to make sure you're on voice and phone. You follow the mouse here. And here you're going to see line 1 key, which you don't want to touch because that's your Hamshack Hotline personal line. And here we have line key 2. And here in extended function, this is where you're going to put your code per se in. And then you have line 3, line 4, and line 5. Now I'm not going to use line 5 because line 5 is already set up for my iPhone. And just let me just take your attention here to this blue phone setting. I was having a problem with my iPhone connecting. What I had to do was, in here, I had to change this from phone to both. And I just put a short name there for my iPhone. But pin code, I deleted what was there, and I made the pin code 4 zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4. After I did that, I was able to sync my phone up with my cell phone up with the regular phone. Okay, so on the right of the screen, this is an Excel sheet that I found online that I manipulated to what works for me. And this Excel sheet has 3 tabs at the bottom. The first tab is SPA525G, and that's going to configure your first 5 lines for you. The second one is a sidecar, and this is going to program up your sidecar stuff for you. And the third tab is going to show you how you can program one of your sidecar buttons to make an outside call using your cell phone if you have that option working. So what I set up here was, so again, we're not doing anything with line 1. So we have line 2, 3, and 4, and I'm not going to use line 5 because I have the Bluetooth set up. So the instructions say, enter Hamshack Hotline number and name. Do not change line 5 if you have your cell phone linked up to Bluetooth. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to put in any number here, 5100. Here I'll put 5600, and for the names, I'll just leave them as public. And if you notice here on the right, this is going to be the cells that you're going to copy into the extended functions. And if you notice, line 2's line is 5100 I'm dialing, but if you look at the text, it still says 300. You notice that here and here? So what happens is once you click this purple button, you're going to see the fields change. So what I want to do is I'm going to put this back to 300, and line public is line 2 is, I want to say 302, I believe. Okay, so once you have these names populated like you want, you're going to click the purple button. Now line 2 is set up, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click into this box, I'm going to right click and hit copy. I'm going to go to line key 2, right, because number 1 is your personal. I'm going to go to line key 2, and in here I'm going to paste, Control V, the information for line 2. I'm going to go back here, I'm going to click on the second box, I'm going to right click and go copy, and I'm going to paste that into line 3. And then I'm going to take line 4, I'm going to copy, and I'm going to paste that into line 4. Now you want to leave the extension set as disabled. Okay, keep them all disabled. And share call appearance, I have them all set up on private, and it seems to be working fine. So once you have this information in, you want to scroll down to the bottom of the page, and you want to hit submit all changes. So let me get my other camera ready on my phone, because I want to show you what happens to the phone when you hit submit all changes. So here I'm going to hit the button submit all changes, and you're going to see the phone's doing a little reboot. Now remember, lines 2, 3, and 4 had nothing on them. Public 1, public 2, public 3, that's what we just programmed, and they're all green. So what's that? That's telling you that there's no activity right now on those lines. And you can see if I just press public 1,
you are currently the only person in this conference.
okay, and then we could just hang up. Okay, so that was that simple. You're able to add lines 2, 3, 4 for me, and 5 for you if you don't have the Bluetooth set up. So now let's go over to the sidecar and see what we could do with the sidecar. So we want to click over to the sidecar, second tab at the bottom, and what you're going to notice here, okay, it looks like a lot of stuff, but don't worry, I made it as simple as I could for you. On the phone side, you want to go, again, make sure you're in advanced, and you want to go to voice, but now you want to go to ATT console, which stands for attendant console. And what's going to happen is in unit 1, because I have one sidecar, all these keys, 32 keys, the first 32 keys, that's what's showing you on the right. And after you populate this, you'll be able to print this form, and it'll print out just the sidecar paper, so you can put that right in. So how does this second tab work? So what we're going to do is, and I'll just start, I'll start with number 2. So let's say button number 2, right, coming down the right hand side, we want this to call, and I'm just guessing here. Well, let me look at some of the numbers here. So we have a phone book here, and so the first one is John K1WYZ, and he's 407, right? K1WYZ. So here we're going to type K1WIZ, and his number was, he was number 407. So I'm just going to put 407, okay, for key 2. Now, like I said, if you look at the data for key 2, it doesn't match what's here, but it will after we press the calculate column F button. And let's go add one more person, and you'll get the idea. We'll just do 2 buttons for now, and let's go down the list and let's go do you know what, let's do Mason. So here we're going to do Mason, and his extension is 5816. Okay, so that's all we did. 5816 button 1 and 407 on button 2. Now when I hit this calculate column F, watch what's going to happen to demo 1, demo 2, and line 1 and 2, or extension 1 and 2. That's all going to change. So you're going to hit calculate column F, and here's the new data. So what we want to do is we want to click for button 1, highlight it. We're going to go copy, and over on the interface side on the unit 1 key 1, I'm going to paste in what I just copied. And now I'm going to go grab the data for the second column, or for the second button. I'm going to right click and go copy, and I'm going to put that on button 2. Okay, so button 1 is Mason, button 2 is K1WIZ. And again, you're going to hit the submit all changes, and let's take a look at the phone and see what's going to happen when I do that. So I'm going to overwrite my button 1 that we have already. So here I'm going to hit submit all changes. All right, and the phone's doing a little reboot, and lines 1 and 2 should light up on the sidecar. Okay, so now they're showing they're lined up. Now I can just press one of these buttons, and that's dialing Mason. Okay, and it flashes red when you're using that line or using that dial. Okay, so we'll just hang up from there. Okay, so we got the 5 buttons on the phone programmed. We just programmed 2 buttons on the sidecar, and let me show you one more function. So staying back on voice and attendant console here, the third tab here, dial outside line. So what we're going to do here is we're going to put in an outside line number. So let me get somebody, and let's go ham radio outlet. Okay, so the name, we're going to say HRO Delaware, and their phone number is 302-332-7092. And what's going to happen here, once you're done, you're going to hit the button, click to create extended function, and when you hit that, there's your text that you want to copy. So I'm going to take this text, I'm going to copy it just like we did on the previous page, and I'll just put this on button 32 at the bottom here. Right click, and we're going to hit paste. And again, we're going to do a submit all changes. Okay, changes were submitted. You see the sidecar lights went off. The phone's doing a little reboot of itself. And now at the bottom right is going to be my outside line. Okay. Now, when I use the bottom line, it stays green. I'm trying to figure out how to get this button to turn red when I use it. Okay, so here you can hit this bottom button and it'll dial out for me on line 5, and you'll be making an outside line call. So coming back over to the sidecar, so we used Mason's name and number in here, and we got K1WIZ in here, and on button 32 we did HRO Delaware. Now I'm not worried about this calculation for button 32 when I'm putting in here because we've already programmed that for an outside line, so we already took this. So what happens here is we're going to hit File, Print, and you can see it's only going to print the card here. So you could print that right out and put that right on your phone. All right, I hope this helped a few people. This is KB2MXV.